हेलो एंड वेलकम डियर स्टूडेंट्स टू दी नोटबुक प्लस और एक MCQ सेट ऑन हम लाए हैं आपके लिए ऑन द टॉपिक कॉल्ड स्टेज एंड थियरीज ऑफ ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट फ्रीड एंड एरिक्सन राइट सिगमंड फ्रीड एंड एरिक्सन साहब द नंबर वन आस्क्स यू हु प्रपोज्ड द साइकोसेक्सुअल थियरी ऑफ डेवलपमेंट कंप्राइजिंग 5 स्टेजेस। आपने अगर इन थियरीज को पढ़ा है फ्रीड एरिक्सन देन आपको पता होगा डियर फ्रेंड्स, इज इट कार्ल जंग, इज इट अल्फ्रेड एडलर, इज इट सिगमंड फ्रीड, इज इट एरिक एरिक्सन? Dear students, the psychosexual theory of development comprising 5 stages was proposed by Sigmund Freud. Number two for you is, in Freud's theory, Sigmund Freud's theory, the oral stage occurs during which range? Birth to 2 years, 6 months to 18 months, birth to 1 year, conception to 6 months. So, in Freud's theory, the oral stage occurs uh, birth to 1 year, dear students. This is your correct option. Number three for you is, which of the following is erogenous zone focused on in Freud's anal stage? Is it eye? Is it bowel and bladder control? Is it hands and fingers? Is it lips? So the erogenous stage focused on in Freud's anal stage is, dear students, it is your bowel and bladder control. So number four is, according to Freud, the Oedipus complex arises during which psychosexual stage? Is it arises at the oral stage, anal, phallic, or latency? Which of the following is the Oedipus complex which arises during which sexual stage according to Sigmund Freud? So dear friends, this is phallic, the Oedipus complex which arises during this sexual stage. It is your phallic. Number five for you is, in Freud's theory, the latency period occurs approximately between which age? 1 to 3 years, 3 to 8 years, or 6 to puberty, or 10 to 14 years. The latency period occurs approximately between, according to Sigmund Freud, 6 years to puberty, dear friends. Number 6 for you is, Erikson emphasized the role of dash dash in shaping expression of biological traits. According to Erikson, the role of which of the following is in shaping expression of biological traits? Is it economics? Is it family and culture? Is it genetics or politics? Which among the following is responsible for shaping expression of biological traits according to Erikson? It is, dear students, family and culture, which shapes the expression of biological traits. Number 7 for you is, how many stages are there in Erikson's model of psychological development? Are these 5, 6, 8 or 10? एरिक्सन साहब की वो मॉडल ऑफ साइकोलॉजिकल डेवलपमेंट आपने पढ़ा होगा, तो देन इट इज़ डिफरेंस 8. There are 8 stages in Erikson's model of psychosocial development. Psychosocial development. Number 8 for you is, according to Erikson, The conflict between trust and mistrust arises in which stage? Stage 1, stage 3, stage 5, or stage 7? Trust or mistrust? According to Erikson, the conflict between trust and mistrust, according to Erikson, arises in the stage first, dear students. Number 9 for you is, what feeling emerges with successful resolution of Erikson's autonomy versus shame and doubt stage? Is it initiative? Is it pride and confidence? Is it competence? Is it trust? So, the feeling which emerges with the successful resolution of Erikson's autonomy versus shame and doubt stage, it is pride and confidence. Number 10 for you is, Erikson linked the psychosocial crisis of industry versus inferiority with learning to read and write, puberty and identity exploration, or evaluation during elementary school years, or career choices after higher education. So the psychosocial crisis of industry versus inferiority, which Erikson linked it with the evaluation during elementary school years. So number 11 for you is, according to Erikson, establishing identity commitment help us resolve conflict experienced in which stage? Is it initiative versus guilt, industry versus inferiority, identity versus role confusion, or intimacy versus isolation? The students, according to Erikson, establishing identity commitment helps resolving conflict experienced in identity versus role confusion. So this is your appropriate answer. Number 12, in Erikson's model, learning to care for others facilitate resolving conflict in which stage? Trust versus mistrust, intimacy versus isolation, generativity versus stagnation, integrity versus despair. So in the Erikson's model, learning to care for others facilitate resolving conflict in generativity versus stagnation. So number 13 for you is, an environment enabling creative contribution helps resolving conflict in Erikson's dash dash stage. In which stage environment enabling creative contribution helps resolve conflict? In which stage? Initiative versus guilt, industry versus inferiority, identity versus role confusion, generativity versus stagnation. So it is the stage industry versus inferiority, which enables creative contribution, which helps to resolve conflict, and environment enabling creative contribution helps resolve conflict, and that stage is industry versus inferiority. So number 14 for you is, according to Erikson, lack of earnest connection in early adulthood may lead to feeling of, Erikson के हिसाब से, and there is lack of earnest connection in early adulthood may lead to the feeling of role confusion, guilt, inferiority, or isolation. It lead to isolation, dear friends, according to Erikson. So number 15 for you is, pride for a meaningful legacy help us older adults resolve what psychosocial crisis? Is it isolation versus despair, or stagnation versus activity, despair versus disintegration, or integrity versus despair. The meaningful legacy helps older adults to resolve the integrity and despair according to your Mr. Erickson. Number 16 for you is developing competence with independence is seen in which of Freud's stage? Is it oral, anal, latency, or gentle stage? According to Sigmund Freud, it is in the anal stage where we develop competence with independence. Number 17 for you is in Freud's theory, psychosexual energy lies dormant during which period? Is it in the oral period, or latency period, anal period, or phallic phase? According to Sigmund Freud, psychosexual energy lies dormant during latency phase. Number 18 for you is according to Freud, fixation from problem with weaning may lead to which issue? Smoking and pessimism, difficulty nurturing others, rigidity and destructiveness, emotional isolation. So, according to Freud, fixation from problem with weaning may lead to it may lead to so it is the rigidity and destructiveness, or another appropriate option is dependency or aggression is the issue which may be lead if the fixation problem with weaning it may lead to the dependency or aggression, or the appropriate answer may be rigidity and destructiveness. So the number 19 for you is harsh toilet training. Harsh toilet training in Freud's model may lead in which kind of personality tendencies? Cynicism and addiction, over control, fastidiousness, role of confusion, inertia, despair, bitterness. According to Sigmund Freud's model, harsh toilet training may lead or may result in over control and fastidiousness. Number 20 for you is Freud associated maturity in the genital stage with the capacity for sensual restraint, martial commitment, measured indulgence, professional achievement. Freud associated maturity in genital stage with the capacity of measured indulgence. Number 21 for you is according to Erickson, a healthy outcome of the trust versus mistrust stage is feeling. According to Erickson, a healthy outcome of trust versus mistrust stage is feeling self certainty, hopefulness, productivity, or intimacy. According to Erickson, a healthy outcome of the trust versus mistrust stage is the feeling of hopefulness. Number 22, Erickson linked underdeveloped identity commitment with struggles like impulsivity, guilt, role confusion, or despair. Erickson linked underdeveloped identity commitment with the struggle of role confusion. Number 23, what feelings may emerge from poor resolution of Erickson's autonomy versus shame and doubt stage? Is it inadequacy, distrust, confusion, or apathy? It is the inadequacy feeling which may emerge from poor resolution of Erickson's autonomy versus shame and doubt stage. Number 24 for you is Erickson associated bitter rejection of life's disappointment with the failure to resolve conflict. In which psychosocial stage? Identity versus role confusion, generativity versus stagnation, intimacy versus isolation, integrity versus despair. Erickson associated bitter rejection of life's disappointment with failure to resolve conflict, associated it with integrity and despair. Number next for you is Erickson linked creative contribution with the resolution of which of the development crisis? Trust versus mistrust, autonomy versus shame and doubt stage, industry versus inferiority, identity versus role confusion. Erickson linked creative contribution with the resolution of which of the following development? It is the industry versus inferiority, with which the Erickson linked contribution with the resolution of development crisis.